What is up guys, big changes await us tomorrow in Agora with patch 0.31. We've got new skins, a jungle minion update and card reworks. But before we go any further, let's talk about Kallari and Gadget, two heroes that definitely need a lot of love. Being single affinity heroes automatically means you're handicapped in a sense, and so now this has completely been reworked. Gadget, previously an intellect hero, is now intellect and order, so as well as gaining another affinity, her ultimate Tesla Dome has an increased casting range. This will hopefully mean she can build more damage as she won't have to get into dangerous positions just to get off her ultimate. Her sticky mine now also moves faster and has stronger gravity, making it more difficult to dodge. Kallari was also a hero that a lot of people seem to complain about, and hopefully Epic have done you guys justice. She's been given access to the intellect affinity, so she is now corruption and intellect. All her abilities have also seen a damage increase, which should hopefully make her even more assassin-like. I won't read out the exact numbers, but know that it is a significant amount. I can't wait to use my build on this new Kallari and dominate even harder. Let's talk about some visual changes before we take a look at the cards. The jungle camps have just gotten a whole load of personality, with the red camp including a man on fire, the blue camp having some kind of insect, and the black buff is now a yellow dinosaur. The prime orb is now Harambe, a gorilla in some badass armor, and it also got some new animations which just develops the personality of the jungle minions. And the art team at Epic didn't stop there, as we got brand new skins as well, with a tier 2 rampage which looks insane. I love the rock design, and then him turning into lava while he ults. This is easily my favorite skin so far. We also got Grand Oracle Sevrog, which looks nice I guess. I'm not a huge Sevrog player, but it is a really nice tier 1 skin. Energized Twin Blast is an okay skin for a tier 1 as well. Maybe the fact that Twin Blast and Decker both have an energized skin has some lore behind it. And the tier 2 Biofreak Murdoch is another great skin. I like the fact that a tier 2 skin had a character model change, as I previously thought this was reserved for tier 3 and upwards. Let me know what skins you guys are going to purchase out of these for though. I'm interested to know which ones you guys like the most. I'm pretty sure it's the Rampage one, but let me know in the comment section. Another big talking point in this week's patch notes is the rework to penetration. I guess this is their way of countering the armor heavy meta. Plasma Channel's old active granted 32 energy penetration based on nearby heroes with a 180 second cooldown, but the new active is an area of effect that shreds 32 energy armor from all enemies in the area for 4 seconds. The cooldown has been reduced to 90 seconds and the base stat changed from lifesteal to max mana, so I think this card will be good on those intellect support heroes like Gadget and Richter, who also will benefit from that max mana base stat. Scorpion Plate's old active said for 6 seconds on hit with basic attack, shred 32 energy armor from targets for 4 seconds. The effect can stack up to 6 times with a max of 160 energy armor and a cooldown of 120 seconds, but now they've removed the max restriction and lowered the shred value to 1 point of energy penetration per hit, which is 16 energy penetration. So effectively it's for 6 seconds on hit with basic attack, shred 16 energy armor from targets for 4 seconds. The thing here is that they're trying to encourage some attack speed, right? Because the faster you hit, the more armor you're shredding. They also changed the base stat from energy pen to max health and reduced the cooldown to 45 seconds. They also changed Splinterbark Vest to the exact same, but for physical armor. I still think this card will be decent on Sparrow. I like the fact that you can build health on it since tank carries seem to be the current meta. Satori Cloak. Now this is a confusing one, so bear with me. Its old active said gain increased physical pen and or energy pen based on 50% of your current physical armor and or energy armor, but this has been changed from an active to a passive. It now applies a shred to enemies for 4 seconds instead of granting penetration, but I'm not too sure how this is a passive. When you read it, it actually doesn't make any sense. Like, how does it shred enemies for 4 seconds as a passive? That makes no sense to me, so I'm just gonna leave this one here. Fire Piercer's old active granted 160 energy penetration for 6 seconds on a 120 second cooldown, but the new active grants 45% energy armor shred to next enemy hit by a basic attack. The base stat has been changed from energy pen to attack speed and the cooldown has been reduced to 45 seconds. Rocket Spike is the physical version of Fire Piercer, so I won't repeat myself, but one thing I'm interested to know is for how long is the armor shredded for. Like, that to me is the most important thing, because with the previous version of these cards I knew, okay, for these 4 seconds I have increased pen, let me make it count. Is it 4 seconds as well? Like, I definitely appreciate clarification here, or if you guys know, let me know in the comment section. I assume it's probably 4 seconds, but I'd like to know for sure. Scourging Tails old active said for 6 seconds on hit with ability, shred 80 physical armor from targets with a 120 second cooldown. Now that duration has been increased to 15 seconds and on a cooldown of 45 seconds. I think this card is a huge pick, and I definitely think all Kallaris will be using this. Blink Charm was also changed. You know how you'd blink and then you kind of just stop and lose momentum? Well, now after you blink, you'll retain some momentum, and the range has been increased from 850 to 1000, making the card a lot more useful. I'm not too sure how big this increase is until I try it out, but it seems like a fair bit. Okay, so that's the cards out of the way. Some good changes to again counter this armor heavy meta. I really also like the change to Blink Charm. Now I will say, purchase this week's card pack. Some great cards, with Shepherd's Fowl being a great pick on all order support heroes, Scourging Tails again an instant pick on Kallari in my opinion, and Shockwave, not as good as it once was, but definitely a card you should have in your arsenal. I mean, Kallari Shockwave maybe. I want to touch on a few things that I think will have a big impact but might have gone unnoticed. Minions prioritize attacking towers over fighting with enemy minions. So you know those games we were playing and most of them lasted like an hour to an hour 30, and this patch didn't really do anything to address that? Well, it kind of did in this small but significant change. Minions prioritizing towers over other minions will hopefully mean that you can get some serious tower damage done if you build up a big wave. One of the most frustrating things in Paragon was how minions, if left alone, would actually do nothing but kill each other and barely scratch a tower like 90% of the time. So this definitely punishes teams grouping up, the death ball, and hopefully means objectives fall faster and therefore bringing match times down. They also reduced the super minion count by 1 per wave, which means you can now actually push the super minion wave out of your base instead of them pushing you into your base. And while I actually like this change, I feel like this change will impact game times negatively, but we'll see. Another change that might have gone unnoticed is that you can now queue up Steel's charge while he's ulting. So there was a slight delay where you couldn't charge after you landed, but now this is gone, allowing you to combo your abilities quite well. I hope this is actually going to be as good as I imagine it. Now we're getting to the point of the patch where I give my opinion. I really like the changes coming in this patch, but they fail to address the issue that I have. Firstly, I feel like this armor meta sucks. I don't want to have to build armor on my carries, but it's the only way to win games at the moment, and this has to be addressed. Secondly, match lengths are getting ridiculous, and while they're not as bad as previously, I still find myself playing 50-minute to 1-hour games far too often, and I'm hoping this minion change will help bring these down. Thirdly, the armor meta. Oh wait, I already mentioned that, and it's because it bugs me a lot. I do think they're heading in the right direction, and it's probably just a matter of time before these things are ironed out. Anyways, if these penetration changes are actually any good, and we'll find out tomorrow, then this might be the end of the armor meta, or at least carries can go back to build like true carries. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button. Let me know your thoughts on this patch in the comment section below.